Travis Hunter is the number one rookie wide receiver in the 2025 rookie wide receiver class. There's no debate about it. There's no, Smitty, I like Ted McMillan, or the new trending thing is, I'm first on Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden, are you surprised? Did I shock you? Everybody's about shock value. Ran fast, okay. That doesn't mean he climbs up everybody's rankings. Matthew Golden's a good player, but he's a 900-yard receiver from the college level. I just can't put him number one. I'm not going to. This is the number one. And you might say, Smitty, he might not even be a wide receiver. We're going to go over why the risk is worth the upside. We're going to go over why you need to take a chance on this guy over every other wide receiver in the 2025 wide receiver rookie pool. And I'm going to break it down right now. The Fantasy Football Show begins now. Let's start with Smitty. He might not even be a wide receiver. What if he plays 40%, 55% of the snaps at wide receiver? What if a team doesn't even draft him as a starting wide receiver? Scared money don't make money, Jim. Now, you can live in fear all you want, or you can look at the facts and look at the data, and the facts are evident right in front of your face. We have a 96 reception, 1258, 15 TD wide receiver, 1 rushing touchdown. You look at his game log, you see playmaker. You see, not only do you see playmaker, you see elite playmaker. Just take a look at these numbers. Okay, let's just go back to his Saturday 12-28 game against BYU. Let's talk about postseason potential. 4 for 106 and a touchdown. What about the game prior to that? How about 10 receptions for 116 and 3 touchdowns? How about 8 receptions for 125 and 2 touchdowns? You're looking at a Heisman. You're looking at a player that is multiple touchdown capable. Look at his game 1, 3 TDs. Game 3, 2 TDs, 2 TDs, 2 TDs, 3 TDs. This guy is scoring multiple touchdowns multiple times. 1 100-yard game, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 100-yard games. It's laughable to me when people say that this guy is going to play corner at the National Football League level, that he won't play wide receiver at least 50% of the time. And let me put something in your ear right now, okay? If this kid plays 55% of the offensive snaps, what is the likelihood he's going onto the field to do nothing? What is the likelihood that the offensive coordinator, wherever he goes, says, you know what? We haven't used Travis Hunter on offense yet. Let's get him out there and have him run a ridiculously nonsensical route and just, a go. Let's run a go route so we can run the ball. Let's get some room and create some room. Maybe that happens on occasion. I'm not saying he won't be a decoy from time to time, but if he only goes into the game 55% of the time, he's touching the football almost every single time he steps onto the field, or he's a big reason why the play's faking left and goes right and they get a first down. Like I said, decoys sometimes. But let me just say this. If he plays 55% of the offensive snaps, let's say, at wide receiver, and he sits out the rest so that he can play whatever percentage of the defensive snaps that he wants to play, this man might have the exact same receiving numbers or better. He might have more touches because when he goes on, he's getting used. If he played 90% of the snaps, he'd become a regular player that would not get the ball every time, that would go maybe a whole drive without getting the football. When he's playing a limited amount of snaps, he's getting the ball when he walks onto the field. It's almost better. And if you think a team's drafting him this weapon, that when the ball's in his hand, he scores touchdowns. If you think a team's going to draft him and say, yeah, you're going to play DB, we don't want you playing wide receiver. When he wants to play wide receiver, he's verbalized, I want to play 100% wide receiver and 100% DB. And I know that might not be possible. I don't think you could say it isn't possible. You can't say that. You can't, because no one's doing this. No one's coming out of the college game doing this. So don't act like you have an ability to predict where this could go. You don't. I don't know. No one knows. But what I can say is we don't have an ability to say he can't do anything. He can do whatever the hell he wants. And he's going to be a strong advocate for him playing as much of both sides of the ball as possible. And I don't worry about injury because his body has been trained and finely tuned to be this type of player, to take this type of beating. Think about it from a perspective of, let's say, Antonio Gibson. Remember when Antonio Gibson came out of college, had very little resume, wasn't really even a starting running back, wasn't even a starting wide receiver. Antonio Gibson, the Washington Commanders drafted him him was an elite rookie, and everybody was blown away with how this guy kind of crept out of nowhere, and it was a really exciting player. The second year, I believe he went inside the top 12 as a sophomore, and he didn't work out. His resume wasn't there. His ability, his proven ability to handle the workload of a starting running back was never tested or proven at the college level. And you can't just do it. You can't just all of a sudden become a workhorse in the NFL. Your body will get hurt. It's like being in amazing shape, but getting on a bike and trying to ride for an hour and a half straight without, resting and going at 90%. Your body, even if it's in great shape, it's not tuned to do that specific thing. And so a running back that is taking a full workload through high school, through early college at least, and they start getting to a point where they're proven, then they can handle it. That's why you never draft a running back or believe in a running back if a team does that has never really played running back. You can't believe in a wide receiver unless they play wide receiver. There's too many things that they got to learn, too many little tiny details of the game and the ability to stay healthy at the rate of getting hit, the way they get hit. This guy's been playing on both sides of the fence and he's been tested. His body is tuned for it. So don't act like just because someone hasn't done it before or that people didn't do it as good as he wants to do it, playing more of a closer to 100% both sides. Don't act like you have the information and understand what's going on. This guy's going to decide what he wants to do. The team that drafts him is going to have a big say in that, sure. But he is going to be a big advocate for himself and saying, give me the damn ball. And you'd have to be one of the worst coaches and decision makers in the National Football League to not want the ball in this guy's hand. I know he can take control of the situation on defense to get the ball in his hand and make plays, but you are incompetent if you don't want this man to have the football from an offensive perspective. And let me tell you this. The ADP for this kid, it's unbelievable. When you take a look at, let's sort by wide receiver, and we go to Ted McMillan, who we like. This is not a show to rip on Ted McMillan. I like him a ton, but he's going in round 4. So here's Ted McMillan, and while I think that is arguable, you could argue that this is a legitimate draft slot. I'd rather have DK, who's right here, over Ted McMillan. I'd rather have a handful of players over Ted McMillan, to be honest. I'd rather have Deebo Samuel down here over Ted McMillan as a rookie in a redraft in a best ball. This is best ball ADP. But Ted McMillan, who's at the top of this board right here at 46 overall, look how far down Travis Hunter is. Travis Hunter, again, you don't know what the snap share is going to be, but I'm telling you that Travis Hunter, when he goes on the field, there he is at 106. We're talking about 46 to 106. The cost of entry is crazy different, and it's not representative of what he's capable of doing. Scared money don't make money. I keep telling you that. And if you say, hey, Smitty, I understand what you're saying, and I can draft both of them. I'm telling you that I believe that this ADP 106.5 should be at least in the early 50s. I think that we should be drafting, there's Matthew Golden at 83 right here. We should be drafting Ted McMillan and Travis Hunter like neck and neck. I think this is maybe a tad high in redraft for Travis Hunter. I think they should both be in the 50s. I think Deebo should be above him. Godwin should be above him. Godwin will climb as people start to understand that he's healthy. I believe that this man can outscore Ted McMillan. And the fact that you can get Ted McMillan in 46 to 48 territory, but you can go down and get Travis Hunter at the top of the screen. 106 means that you can win a league off that. This is the value. So from a redraft perspective, cost of entry, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. You can draft both if you want, but the value is Travis Hunter. Cost of entry, there's no argument here. This kid is going to do what I say he's going to do. He's going to be electric and elite at even a smaller snap share because they're going to use him when he hits the field. They're just not putting him on the field for nothing and running him out there for nothing. He's going to touch the ball nearly the same exact time he would if he played 90% because it's going to be more focused when he hits the field. But here's where it's crazy. In Dynasty, there are people out there that shouldn't even be creating content that do. that are telling people to not even rank him. They'll do a top 10 rookie wide receiver ranking, leave Travis Hunter off and go, well, if he gets drafted as a wide receiver, we'll put him back on here and slot him, but we're not going to even rank him here, meaning that his dynasty value is also extremely undervalued. In some cases, you could say more, given what his dynasty value could actually be, because you have more time for him to develop. He should be going at 4 or 5 or 3 overall in a rookie startup or a rookie fantasy football draft. Oh, Smitty, that's crazy. You can say whatever you want. This is the number 1 wide receiver. If it goes Genty and Hampton, and let's say my favorite, you'll see a video here next on Henderson, on Trey Henderson. That's kind of my top 3. Hampton, Henderson, kind of neck and neck at the 2. And then my next player up, if it's not Tyler Warren, it's Travis Hunter. I would draft Travis Hunter in a rookie draft before I draft Ted McMillan right now. And it doesn't mean I don't like Ted McMillan. That's the crazy part. And I'm not going to push my luck and say, well, I'll just trade down from 4 or 5 to 7 and hope I get Travis Hunter and hope somebody's not watching content like this and knows what time it is. This kid is better than every wide receiver, including everyone's favorite Matthew Golden Boy, who's good, but he's a 900-yard receiver. He hasn't caught 1,000 yards at the college level yet. This is the guy. And if you don't think he's worth a 106 overall pick in redraft or somewhere at wide receiver 4 or 5 or even 6 in a dynasty rookie draft, then I don't know how I can help you. This kid might not get the work that I think he is going to get. And that's on me if it happens. I'm willing to risk it. Why am I willing to risk it? Because the cost of entry is garbage. Even if I'm wrong, I'm not wrong, because he's going as the 5th or 6th wide receiver in Dynasty, and he's going as 106 overall in redraft. If I'm wrong, I'm not wrong. Don't sleep on a kid that is electric. Don't sleep on the kid that can bring that elite potential to the position, unlike any of the other players in this rookie wide receiver class. I love Ted McMillan. Can he be a T. Higgins someday? Yes, he could. He really could. He's that good. But that is a 3rd rounder in fantasy. That is a 3rd rounder. That's great. I'm not knocking it. I like Ted McMillan. How many times do I got to say I like Ted McMillan? But he's a T. Higgins at most, probably. Travis Hunter could be a top 5, 6, 7 wide receiver. Travis Hunter could be a Reggie Bush in a wide receiver shell. This could be one of the most electric players in the National Football League. This could be, even if, let's say they use him less than I think, he's still going to be an amazing player that earns his 106 overall redraft ADP and 5 or 6 ranked rookie ranking in Dynasty. At worst case scenario, this risk is baked in, and I end up looking like not a fool, but looking like, okay, it didn't work out like you said. I got my value, but I'm kind of disappointed he didn't blow up like you said. That's my worst case scenario here. This is my number 1 rookie wide receiver.